Call of Duty is one of the most repetitive franchises that I think I've ever fucking seen in this industry. And I'm not talking about the fact that the gameplay usually kind of remains the same every year. I'm talking about the fan base and that Call of Duty cycle that we go through every single year. The game comes out, everybody likes it. Black Ops 6 was the biggest Call of Duty launch ever, with the Xbox CEO touting a record for day one players as well as Game Pass subscriber ads on launch day. And the success back then wasn't just the Game Pass subscription. Unit sales on PlayStation and Steam were up 60% year over year. And I'll be honest, for a Call of Duty title, I think rightfully earned. They had a great campaign, the multiplayer at the time was awesome, and they had zombies, which I know a lot of people were looking for, that return to form round-based zombies experience, and they got that. But we're in the middle of January of the next year, which means gamers now are looking at the game with a more critical viewpoint.
Oh, I forgot. You're broken. I don't want to play with you anymore.
A tweet from Jake Lucky shows that Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has now lost nearly half of its player base on Steam since launch, and that's including Warzone, which has lost over 30% of its Steam player base in just the last 3 months. Now, I understand that it's common for games to lose their luster. They have huge peaks at the very beginning, and then a lot of games do fall off, Call of Duty always included. But we haven't seen a drop like this in Call of Duty in quite some time, and we actually haven't seen the online sentiment be as negative for Call of Duty as it is right now, at least in the last 5-6 years. And the thing is we can't look at one issue as the cause for this downfall. There are multiple things going on in the Call of Duty space that I think are attributing to the fact that Black Ops 6 is on its way out, with some of the largest and most vocal content creators in the Call of Duty space calling for people to stop playing the game. A tweet from Modern Warzone 24 hours ago: I highly encourage you to stop playing Call of Duty and go play other games until they get their shit together. Prominent voices like Swag and Nadeshot, and even guys like Westy, have taken a step back from the game completely until things get better. Westy tweeting 22 hours ago: now's the time to go play Delta Force, Marvel Rivals, Arma Reforger, or literally any other game. And this was in response to a Call of Duty update that actually got pushed to live that completely broke the matchmaking to the point where you literally couldn't play the game. But at this point, a matchmaking update is the least of their concerns. The start of this downward trend of Call of Duty kind of started about a month ago, right before Christmas, with a lot of creators noticing that hackers are now starting to become even more prominent in Warzone games, with their ability to actually shut down a lobby if they end up getting killed in game. I don't understand the tech behind it, but it feels like as soon as they die or they get killed by an actual legit player, it's like they DDoS the server to the point where nobody can move around and everybody is just forced to leave the game. Absolute maidenless behavior from these fucking chuds. But what if I told you that that's not even the only thing going on in this community that's forcing people to step away? A large number of people online are now talking about the use of AI art within Call of Duty. They're using it for things like prestige icons, calling cards, loading screens, as well as art that you'll find in-game. Now, coming from a billion-dollar studio that can afford to pay actual artists, this is incredibly lazy. And if there's anything we know about Call of Duty and when they implement things, this is a sign of things to come, which means the AI slop is only going to get worse. Now, admittedly, I've used AI on thumbnails in the past. I gotta say, even I quickly realized the results suck shit, and that was a year ago. Watching a company as large as Activision that has people on payroll that could do these things and that have done these things for years, watching them go down the rabbit hole of AI is it's unfortunate. That being said, out of the two issues I presented so far, I think the AI art is probably the more tame one. We got to figure out what's going on with Ricochet, the anti-cheat, the hackers that can shut down lobbies at a moment's notice. What the fuck? And on top of all of these issues, a lot of players have shared the distaste that they've had with the Warzone integration this time around. Sluggish feeling games, laggy games, clunky feeling controller. A lot of people weren't a fan of how they integrated the Warzone, including me. I played 3 games and I realized that the Omni movement made the game feel weird. I wasn't a fan of the new map. I wasn't a fan of the way the graphics looked. The game is just feeling, looking, and playing very dated. And this is the first year since Warzone's come out that I just haven't haven't been playing the game, which is unfortunate. And while all of these things are going on, the community disdain for the game is at an all-time low. What do? They launch a Squid Game event, which is now drawing backlash from players for being the first event in the game to have a monetized premium track. Yeah, that's right. It's a monetized microtransaction-filled event. So not only do you have to pay for the game, pay for the cosmetics, have the battle pass, have the black cell, now we have a monetized premium track for an in-game collaboration event. Fuck me. So from January 2nd to January 24th, there is a Squid Game event pass that you have to pay 1,100 Call of Duty points, basically works out to $9.99, and you can unlock some premium rewards, and they call them premium. I'm not sure how many of these are made with AI. I wouldn't call that premium, but what a lot of fans are pointing out is this is around the same price as a seasonal battle pass. It offers less rewards, and unlike the seasonal battle passes, it also doesn't allow players to recoup their Call of Duty points, which essentially means it's a waste of fucking money. And then I also think you can kind of step outside of the Call of Duty ecosystem and look around and see that there are other games right now that are taking on the Western AAA space, games like Delta Force, games like Marvel Rivals, that is literally taking the world by storm. And as much as I know some people don't like Marvel Rivals or some people in this community don't like Delta Force, at the very least, I think we can all celebrate that there are finally alternatives that gamers want to play that aren't made by these Western studios that are only there to nickel and dime the absolute shit out of you. And I'll be honest, I can't even say nickel and dime anymore. They want all of your fucking money. And it's not like Delta Force and Marvel Rivals also don't want all of your money, but at least you can stomach the upfront cost of free instead of paying $70 or whatever a Game Pass subscription is to then just get fucked even further. I'm somebody who loves playing Call of Duty when Call of Duty is good. I'm somebody who will skip out on a Call of Duty when Call of Duty is bad. And I really hope all of these creators that are sitting there urging their fan bases to not play the game until things get better don't just automatically jump on the hype train when a new Call of Duty gets announced and saying, "We're so back, dude," because we know the next Call of Duty is going to be preying on people's nostalgia to try to get these player bases back up. And I don't want people to fall for it yet again, but like, dude, it's a tale as old as time. Call of Duty will sell multi-millions, perhaps even billions of dollars every single year. People will be hyped for 3 months, and then they'll realize that the game is actually kind of shit. They'll jump off the train. They'll tell people to stop playing it. Man, we gotta wait until things get better. Things never get fucking better. They just announce a new game and then hope that you'll forget about everything that happened the year prior. And like, without any alternatives, I totally understand the feeling of like, there's nothing else to play. What else can you do? But that situation is no longer viable in today's market. There's plenty of other titles out there that can give Call of Duty a run for its money. My name is BigFry. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like on the video and subscribe for more FPS content and discussion. Check out all of the socials down below. Get connected. And I'll see you on the next one.